And we're back on KBLP with the Bow Corner. Tomorrow? Oh, you couldn't do it? What happened? Oh, thanks, Lori. What happened to your laptop? Good night, sweetie. Oh, that bummer. Oh, maybe you just got to clean it up. I hope that's all it is. Hope you get it fixed, honey. While you're still here, next Tuesday, join me, Encounters of the Strange Kind. We're going to do magic. What was it? Magic, mermaids, and muses. So that should be interesting. It should be fun. So, okay. Night, honey. Hope you sleep well. Hope you get it fixed, hon. Love you. Okay, good. I hope he can fix it. Maybe it just needs reset, cleaned up, or whatever. Yeah, should be fun. Okay, sweetie. You get to feeling better. Hopefully we'll hear you tomorrow. Tell Joe we said hi. I'm going to go into Valentine's cards. When was the first one actually sent? It's generally accepted that the world has St. Valentine's to thank for what has become by known as many. By many a forgetful husband, of course. They shopped the night before. Thanks for being here, Lori. And you know how men are, they shop the night before or the morning of. But the stories behind the real first Valentine are more interesting than you might think. There's some debate about who sent the first V-Day card. Some sources say that down and out, of course, St. Valentine himself sent the first Valentine. Of course, he was in love with his jailer's daughter, and he sent her a letter before his execution. And the British Library in London holds the oldest known surviving Valentine, a poem composed in French in 1415 by Charles Duke of Orleans to his wife, which he sent while imprisoned in the Tower of London. And lest one think that only incarcerated men were once capable of sending love notes, the British Library also possesses the oldest known Valentine in the English language, a poem composed in 1477 by a woman named Marjorie Bruce to her fickle fiancé. So, there you go. But the majority of historic Valentines still exist today, came from the European lovers in the Victorian period, and were handmade and hand-printed monstrosities, of course, quite unlike the mass-produced and slender greeting cards of today. The European tradition of postmarking letters in February, allegedly, traveled across the pond thanks to one Esther Howland, a native of Worcester, Massachusetts, who graduated from the female seminary in 1847. The enterprising Howland is credited with starting the Valentine's Day card industry in the United States, growing what started out as a small homemade card business into a thriving enterprise that earned $100,000 annually. Many of the cards made by Howland's New England Valentine Company are still available for viewing today. The sentiment of Howland's cards is about all that stayed the same since the latter part of the 19th century. Today's Valentine's Day industry has grown from a greeting card company dream to a boon for a business of all kinds. The National Retail Federation predicts that the average American will spend $13.33 this year on Valentine's Day cards alone. That's per person. And 62% of them plan on spending up to $100 on Valentine's Day gifts for loved ones. What would be your perfect Valentine's gift? What do you think? What would be your perfect Valentine's Day gift? Interesting question. It's become one of the key dates on the commercial calendar, with romantic Brits spending an estimated $1.6 billion last year on cards and gifts. Behind the commercialism of Valentine's Day, there's a fascinating history that can be traced back to ancient Rome. Again, many believe, Saint Valentine sent it to his lover, and he was executed on February 14th. Many legends have been recorded about Saint Valentine. That Valentine himself fell in love, of course, with his jailer's daughter. And of course, it said at the end, "From your Valentine." So, therefore, yeah, very nice. Very nice, yes. The next milestone in the history of the Valentine's Day comes in 1382 when Geoffrey Chaucer wrote his poem, Parlement of Fools. This poem contains what is widely reported to be the first recorded instance of St. Valentine's Day being linked to romantic love. A couple lines of that poem, and I quote, "For this was sent on Valentine's Day, when every fool cometh there to chase his make." There you go. Okay. Some have argued that he was talking about Maytime, when birds are more likely to mate in England. Okay. I don't know about that. Whatever. In 15th century France, on February 14th, it became an annual feast day celebrating romantic love. Lavish banquets with singing and dancing were held. Those people, the French could party, couldn't they, back in the day? I'm telling you what. It was also a 15th century Frenchman who committed the earliest surviving Valentine's greeting to paper. He was imprisoned in the Tower of London, and he wrote to his wife, "I am already sick of love, my very gentle Valentine." Aww. Isn't that nice? And that's in the British Museum. By the 17th century, Valentine's Day gets a mention in Shakespeare's Hamlet, when Ophelia is given the lines, and I quote, "Tomorrow is St. Valentine's Day. All in the morning betime, and I am made at your window to be your Valentine." Aww. It was in the 18th century that the most familiar Valentine's poem made its first appearance. These lines, found in a collection of nursery rhymes, was printed in 1784 and reads, "The rose is red, the violet's blue, the honey's sweet, and so are you." So that came about in the 18th century. So there you go. This was the first appearance of the poem in this form, but its origins reach back to the 1590s from the epic The Fairy Queen, and it featured the lines, "She bathed with roses red and violets blue, and all the sweetest flowers that in the forest grew." Oh, the Fairy Queen. Very cool. So, nice. It was in Britain that pre-printed cards first began to appear. although they were not as popular as they were going to become, as we all well know. The oldest surviving example dates from 1797, and this card is held at the York Castle Museum, was sent by Catherine Mosday to a Mr. Brown of London. It is decorated with flowers and images of Cupid with a verse around the border reading, yeah, really? Since on this ever happy day, all nature's full of love and play, yet harmless still of my design, 'tis but to be your Valentine. Aren't these cute? Aw, that's so nice. A Victorian. The French did Valentine's up. They did every holiday up. They knew how to party, that's for sure. You know, banquets and dancing and balls and of course the French are known for their amour. So there you go. 19th century brought with it rapid advances in printing and manufacturing technologies. It became easier than ever to mass produce the cards, which soon became immensely popular. In the mid-1820s, it is estimated some 200,000 Valentines were circulated in London alone. Very cool. Many Victorian Valentine cards survive, but most intriguing is a collection of more than 1,700 examples at the Museum of London. Very cool. Some that were popular with lovers in Victoria, Britain. Huge array of designs and verses and sentiments. They tended to feature elaborate paper lacework, embossing, and intricate designs. The more expensive the card, the more elaborate the design would be. This meant it would be obvious how much your lover had spent on a card. Now you can just look at the back, right? Typical imagery included flowers, love knots, and Cupid. Hearts were sometimes used. Victorian cards did not feature the red hearts that are so typical today. So cool, so cool. So that's kind of what I want to say, surface thing about Valentine's Day. Yeah, the money. Apparently that's what it's about. I don't care. I like it handwritten. That would be nice in a card. Make up a poem, you know? That would be nice. Coffee in bed, yes. You know, they're just the little things are nice. So, I'm going to give you a rundown for the week. So we discussed Groundhog's Day, the Winter Olympics, Super Bowl Sunday, the weather, which is going to get nasty. So please, everybody, this next week, stay safe out there. Stay well too. Lots of nasty stuff going around. I'm going to give you the rundown for this next coming week. Tomorrow, hopefully, we'll hear from Lori with her soundtracks show. Hopefully she'll get that on. I'll be on tomorrow later I'm going to do Hollywood Review. Hey, I want to discuss the Winchester real quick. That started today with Helen Mirren. Oh my God, that looks so awesome. I want to go see it. I'm going to see if my daughter can go with it Tuesday. That movie looks fantastic. Another one that's piquing my interest is Phantom Thread with Daniel Day-Lewis, supposedly in his last famous portrayal on this. So, another one to go see. So we're going to talk about these tomorrow night. I can't wait because I want to see the Winchester so bad. Next week, we'll do that tomorrow night. After me tonight, stay tuned for our own Chris Stevens, Crazy Man, the main freak, with Freaks in the Basement. Awesome show. And I don't have to work tomorrow, so I can stay up for it tonight. Tomorrow night, hopefully Laura will be on about 4 p.m. Eastern. Keep your fingers crossed. She gets all that taken care of. The technology is wonderful when it works, right? When it doesn't work, it really is.